So, we're talking about today, you're not talking while I'm talking. We're talking about today consistent, inconsistent, consistent dependent, consistent independent. You guys remember this? Yes? Okay, remember, inconsistent, no solution, straight lines. So, stop talking while I'm talking. Please draw this on your paper. Okay? Next to inconsistent, no solutions. You might want to underline these things so you remember them. You have parallel lines. It never crosses, which is why you have no solutions. Okay? Consistent, independent has exactly one solution if it's independent and it looks like an X. It crosses. Okay? Consistent, dependent has infinite numbers of solution and it looks like overlapping lines. Okay? All right. So now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to graph all of these problems. Partially to help you remember to graph, because some of you were having it. X plus y equals 1, and I'm going to do x minus y equals 1. Okay, so let's start. Ryan, is this in y equals mx plus b form? No. How would I get it there? So it's to both sides. These cancel, and I'm left with y equals negative x plus 1. So there is one graph. You tell me, what's the b? So what would the b be in this instance? 1. Okay, so let's do that. We're going to graph it. So Jordan already told us what the b is. The b is 1. So that means I go to the y-axis, because b is also called what? What's the other name for b? Not slope, but y-intercept. So we go to the y-axis, and we put a dot on 1. Kenya, what's the slope for the one I circled right here?
1 over 1. Negative 1.
Good. Negative 1 over 1. So I go down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1. So a lot of you tell me you don't know how to graph.
I know.
And then you answer the question correctly, which concerns me. Because I think maybe that's not, I don't know how to do it. Maybe that's I'm lazy to do it. Okay, Devin, is the second equation I have up here, is that in y equals mx plus b form?
No.
What would I do to get it there?
Whatever you want.
I need to get rid of what?
The y.
X.
You don't know anything.
Can you stop answering his question? Stop talking. Shh. So Devin, I'm going to subtract the
X.
Thank you. And I get negative y equals negative x plus 1. Jordan Milton.
Yeah.
Is this in y equals mx plus b form? I'm sorry, it's just Jordan. Shh. What do I have to do? What is in front of the y that can't be there? Negative. So I've got to get rid of the negative, and I do that by dividing. Divide everything by a negative 1, and that gives me y equals x minus 1. Jesse, where do I put my first dot to graph the green one?
Negative 1.
Okay, on the y-axis, I go down to negative 1 and I put a 1. And then what do I do, Chloe? What do I do now? I put it on negative 1. Now what do I do? What's the slope for it? 1. So I go up 1 over 1, good. Up 1 over 1. Okay? So, Fred, where do these cross? Huh? Can't hear you. Close to the middle, but what point is this? We went over how much? Okay, Jordan, you want to help him out because he can't see from the back? What point is this right here where they intersect?
2.
X is 1, y is 0. Thank you, Ryan.
I told you I never had
Well, you should have had it written on your paper. So you guys can see. Okay, thank you. All right, they cross at 1 point. So what do we call this, Tiara? If they cross at 1 point, do we call it consistent independent, consistent dependent, or inconsistent? Consistent independent, thank you. I don't want to hear any more talking while I'm talking or while somebody else is talking. Shut your mouth.
Can we use the what you call it, the just did it.
We did
Elimination.
elimination, we're going to do that in a second. Okay, how many solutions does this problem have? Solutions means how many times does it cross? Tyler, how many times does the blue graph cross the green graph? Once, zero, or infinite?
Infinite.
Once.
Minus 0.
Solutions
Plus 1.
equals
Kenya.
1. Stop!
He keeps on touching me.
Scoot over and he won't touch you. You guys are all up in each other's business. Okay, moving on. Next graph.
How did you get 1?
Because it crosses once, so I know it has one solution.
What is the 1 and 0?
Solution. S-O-L.
No.
Yeah. S-O-L. Consistent independent.
The 1 and 0.
That's the x value is 1, y value is 0. For this point right here. You went over 1, up 0. That's the point. That's where it crosses. Okay. All right. Next graph we're doing. Get out of my room. Leave. I'm not kidding. Go. Because you know what you just said in my classroom. Get out. Done. Go. Bye-bye. Don't laugh. You know it's not funny. Yes, goodbye, friend. Okay. So we're going to graph these problems. We've got 3x plus y equals 4 and 6x plus 2y equals 8. They have to be in what form in order to graph them? Are either of them in y equals mx plus b? Okay, Stephanie, help me out with the first one. How do I get this in y equals mx plus b form? Subtract 3x from both sides. Make sure you take the x with it. These cancel and I'm left with y equals negative 3x plus 4. Okay, Lisa, you ready? Where do I put my first dot, Lisa? Yep. I go to the y-axis and I go 1, 2, 3, 4. Samantha, what do I do next? I put my dot on 4. What's my slope? Perfect. Down 3 over 1. Down 1, 2, 3 over 1. Down 3 over 1, and so on. Okay, Artie. Is 6x plus 2y equals 8. Is that in slope-intercept form? What? How do I get it there? Good. I minus 6x from each side. I get 2y equals negative 6x plus 8. Dakota, what do I do next to get y by itself? I want y by itself. Not minus, but divide because they're being times. See how there's nothing in between it, no addition or subtraction sign? That means we want to divide. So we divide both sides by 2, and we get y equals negative 3x plus 4. So Nathan, where do I put my first dot for the green one? On the 4, good. Deja, how do I find my next dot? Down 3 over 1, down 3 over 1. Clarence, is this consistent independent, consistent dependent, or inconsistent? I'm sorry, Clarence. What? Consistent what? Independent or dependent? Dependent. Shush. Okay, Josh, this is kind of a hard one, but I'm sure you know the answer. Is it? Do you have one solution, 0 solutions, or infinite solution? This is how we make the infinite sign. It says infinite solutions. You ready? We got one more graph.
How many graphs are we doing on our homework?
I don't know. You always have homework. Shush, shush.
Why? This is math.
Yes, exactly. It's math. Math, you have homework every day.
Last year, Mr. Connor gave math.
That was last year.
Dang.
All right,
no.
every year for the rest of your life, you have math every day. Moving on with life now. Okay, Rachel. We've got 2x minus y equals 1. Is that in slope-intercept form, Rachel? How would I get it there? Stop. Subtract 2x from both sides. I would get negative y equals negative 2x plus 1. Okay, Rachel, what do I have to do now? No, isn't y equals on the
Oh,
screen?
no, divide by -1.
Divide everything by negative 1. Yes, Kiara.
Will it ever be
Yes.
supposed to be
Sometimes it will be in y equals mx plus b. But I'm doing all of them not so that you get into the habit of being able to solve them for y equals mx plus b. Math. Where do I put my first point for this blue one right here? Negative 1. And then what do I do, Matt?
Why would you divide by 1?
Up 2 over 1.
Would you divide by 2?
Hold on 1 second, honey. And Ryan, shut your mouth. Shh. Count in your head. Okay, Tiara, I divided by a negative 1 because y is by itself with a negative in front of it. So that's the same thing as it being a negative 1 in front of it. And I needed these to cancel each other out. So I'm just left with y. Okay? Alright, other side. Shh. Gentlemen. We've got 6x minus 3y equals 12. Dylan, is this in slope-intercept form? No. How do I get it in slope-intercept form? So we minus 6x from each side. And we are left with negative 3y equals negative 6x plus 12. And then, Dylan, what do we do to get y by itself? Divide everything by negative 3. Perfect. So I'm going to get y equals 2x minus 4. Okay, we're back to Ryan. What's my first point go?
Negative 4.
So I put a dot on negative 4. So I go down 1, 2, 3, 4. And then what, Ryan?
I declare it.
Up, stop, Dylan. Write this down. Sorry, Dylan. Devin, write this down. You will not be bored if you keep track of this and write it down and stop being a jerk in my class.
I'm not being a jerk to you.
Yes, making noises and doing stupid things and saying stupid things, that's being a jerk.
But
Now
I'm not
write this down.
cursing. What number am I on?
Okay. Kenyon,
Yes.
is this inconsistent, consistent dependent, or consistent independent? Just Kenyon. Guess.
Third one.
Which was what? Look at the top of your page. Pick one. Inconsistent.
Inconsistent.
Inconsistent. You're right.
Shut up. Shut up.
And Devin, how many solutions does it have? How many times does it cross?
None.
0. So it has 0 solutions.
Oh, yeah.
Solution, infinite means it's overlapping. It has infinite, it crosses all the time. 0 means it doesn't cross. All right, now we're going to do something a little easier. We're going to do it by the elimination method.